r/ForeverAlone. Hated by a Nation says, I would give up anything to have masculine features and presence. I have a job making six-figure income and a boatload of savings. I would give up every single penny if I could be transformed into a real man. Instead, I looked like a femboy at almost 27 years old. No woman wants to be with someone who looks like me, and other men don't respect you. My demeanor is too soft and amicable. As a real man, you are supposed to dominate and abuse other people while pretending it's for their good. I never felt comfortable doing that because I lack masculinity. I never felt like a leader or felt remotely confident. Frick, I hate this life. Mirage32 says, no, as a man you're not supposed to be dominant and abusive. People on this sub should stop spreading those toxic beliefs, they're doing a lot of harm. Neos210 says, as a real man you are supposed to dominate and abuse other people while pretending it's for their good. No. Where are you learning this nonsense? Being a real man is to be abusive? Other men don't respect you, okay? For how straight you guys like to act, you seem to love impressing men. Mandoa Sky says, maybe you're looking in the wrong places? The goth and K-pop community are full of femboy looking dudes. N0 Tread says, women love pretty boys, your problem comes from something else. Wrong Grade 8800 says, you'll be forever alone if you think abusing people is how you get love and admiration from women. Unless you want them to fear and resent you, then you have your priorities out of whack. You can have masculine presence without being the most masculine, and it comes from confidence. Nothing less masculine than some hyper insecure dork who just stands around being the victim and hoping his life happens without him doing anything about it. Tupac Fan says, oh, boy, just wait a little, and if you keep the pace with the money making, you can actually make fun of the masculine so-called men. A Brit 4R says, whoa. I'm sorry you feel like that. But you should know something, everybody has insecurities, so don't give up, okay? And forget about all the horrible things people say. Some people just can't leave people be. Sutablisted says, no, you can't imagine the life poor people have. Be grateful for what you do have. Sklux says, I'm glad you're alone. If your idea of man is to abuse people, what the frick? Stay inside away from others and maybe stop reading R9K. Salon Space says, you wanna be Andrew Tate. r/ForeverAlone. Quasks says, it's all meet people this and meet people that. But where? School/college/workplace? Completely out of the question. You don't shit where you eat. Anywhere else? Park/coffee shop/hobby club? Nobody goes there to get picked up. What does that leave? Skydweller206 says, I hate these advices. Half the time it just makes you look stupid. I tried couple of times to just going up to a group and start talking. They just give me the WTF look and they respond defensively. Then when you sign up for classes, half the time people just get up and leave immediately after class. Still Pure Poor Wolf says, that don't shit where you eat is the weirdest stuff ever from internet people. Many have success with it, and I kick myself from not socializing at work earlier after listening, and then see how orcas get together. God64 says, work, sure, I can see that, but trying to date people from school or college is shitting where you eat? I highly disagree. I think this is where a majority of people start their dating experiences with little trouble from it. As far as where to meet people, the main things I think that garner success are dating apps and friends. I think when you go to these places like hobby clubs, you should go to try to make friends instead of courting someone. Then possibly those friends know other people who are single and can vouch for you. Filthy Ugly Weeaboo says, I have a couple of friends who met their wives on dating apps. They said they wouldn't be married now if they didn't go on those apps and were getting me to join. I was like, no thanks, I already know how that is going to end. David290 says, where can I meet gay/bi guys outside of dating apps? There are no gay venues here. Jones76 says, I'm amused that people give this advice, as though meeting enough people will eventually land you a relationship. No Light 93 says, if you're good looking, or at least average, you can meet people anywhere. If you're ugly, people want you gone from their site ASAP. Famous Trust 2420 says, why out of place? That's completely untrue. Workplace and college was the only place anyone ever showed interest in me, without me doing anything, just being there. Where do you think couples met? Only in a dedicated dating place. Comzillant says, you are taking yourself out of the game before you've even gone in, lol. Many people meet at all these places. r/ForeverAlone. Procedura Massive 6210 says, is paying money for online dating worth it? I would burn all my money to get a girlfriend, but I don't want to give my money to these greedy companies. Mainly because it is scary to think how many people would see my repulsive face and instantly swipe left. Also, it sucks to pay for something that other people can get for free. But before giving up, maybe I should try. What do you think? Listina Pork says, nah, they figured out how to prey on desperation many years ago. The algo will always work to keep you on the app. Soft Reflection 4260 says, if you are not getting any matches for free, you won't while paying either. Retrobacy 9696 says, you'd be burning your hard-earned money there. More and better chances speaking to women, I roll. Just Sipping to Hear says, online dating apps are the worst for men. The ratios are 80% men to 20% women. That's because there are an insane amount of men in relationships that are on those sites trying to double dip. A lot of women have stopped using dating sites because they get tons of hits, but a lot of those hits are guys just looking to get laid immediately. If you are willing to spend money, look into actual in-person dating services. These are old-fashioned matchmaking services that will create a portfolio for you and set you up on real dates. You may want to look into speed dating as well. Rose21 says, no. Rika the Greatest says, well, the problem with dating apps is that the first impression people get from you is your looks. Women who aren't conventionally attractive struggle as well because people don't want to match them. The best way to get a GF is to meet someone IRL. I struggle with social anxiety myself, and I find this borderline impossible because I also think that we are perceived as creepy if we try to approach women in public, but overall if you're not getting any matches, then paying isn't gonna change that. Also, another thing about dating apps is it's almost like a competition to impress a girl. If you do match with her, I personally think it's a lost cause, because good luck getting a date. If you don't entertain them within an hour, they almost certainly have another guy who matched them, so they'll just ghost you if you're not interesting enough to them. Banalisha Kenshit says, no, it's a grift. r/ForeverAlone. Hornby says, no advice really works past a certain age. I feel like most of the self-improvement advice could potentially be helpful to the younger guys here. But after a while, you can get too old for any of it to make a difference. Becoming a social butterfly and getting jacked, or looking more attractive, in your 30s seems so improbable. It feels like a lot of who you are fundamentally has already been shaped by then. Then there's having to answer for the years you've lost. Being single for so long has lasting effects on you as a person. Sayings like, let go of the past, stay in the present sounds nice, but how do you answer for all of those years you spent isolated? How do you explain to people you've missed out on every good experience? You're just permanently a strange person at that point. So if you're young out there, please do whatever you have to do to find someone sooner than later. I know I'm not one to talk, since I'm no expert. Though the advice you're reading sounds dumb, it could have value if you start soon enough. Because nobody emphasizes that self-improvement has a best before date. The older you get, the worse this situation will get for you. Poyashut says. True. I'm 24 and feel so lost it's not even funny. And I was browsing sites as this since like 18 years old. Fixed Assets says. I think a large part of that depends on why a person is far. When it comes to guys, it's usually a couple of three things. 1. The guy had some bad experiences and now assumes all is lost. This is the 40Y/O virgin situation, where a guy is either uncomfortable in romance relationships because prior attempts failed, or has done stupid shit like trying online dating or cold approaching, two of the worst ways to meet women, had no luck, and assumed that it's because they are unfixable. People like this probably could be helped early on. 2. The guy has some serious issues that he hasn't changed that could make a difference. This is usually the fatties, the shy guys, the guys with weird hair or odd hobbies that don't allow him to interact with people. This can also include guys who are average and are total bags and are not hot enough to get away with it. Learning to lose weight, have better habits, shower bro, and not be a dick can go a long way for folks like this. 3. The guy has some legitimate deal breakers that women universally find repulsive and are not capable of being changed. These guys know who they are. They are the 5 feet 3 inch guys, the guys with disfiguring disabilities. The guys on any part of the autism spectrum, or have severe learning/emotional disabilities. You won't find these guys posting pics on /r/AmyUgly because they know the answer to this. These guys are doomed at any age and advice doesn't really work because there isn't really anything that can be done about these deficiencies. I think that at least half the people on this board probably fall into this category. I will agree on one thing, the longer you stay far, the harder it is to get out, especially since women, with the exception of religious women who are adherents of faiths like Islam, LDS, or Jehovah's Witnesses, find virginity in men to be disgusting, especially older men. Even in the faith groups I mentioned, men generally tend to get married young, so if you are older than early 20s and have no idea how to do anything with women, she will find out, be grossed out, and probably bail, even if she was attracted to you in the first place. Bottom line, agree that the younger you are, the better your chances of getting out of here if you are in groups 1 or 2. I found out I was in group 3 when I was young and can definitely say there was no hope for me. Just had to get used to it. Edited to include a Sopranos reference. Morias says. That is true, at some point you're too old to realistically achieve being with anyone and liking being with that one, but it's definitely not your 30s. That's all for this video, thank you for watching, please subscribe.